Hello, this is going to be a quick unboxing of Star Wars Legion. If you've been following our live updates, you'll know that myself and Carl are going to start playing this. So I recently picked the core box set up to start building. I've got the Rebels and Carl's going to be playing the Imperials. Quick look at the back of the box. There's quite a lot going on in there. We've got 33 plastic miniatures, 8 plastic barricades, 15 dice, 3 movement tools, 1 range ruler, 8 unit cards, 35 upgrade cards, 14 command cards, 12 battle cards, 1 round counter, 107 assorted tokens, 1 learn to play booklet. 107 tokens. It is Fantasy Flight, so I didn't expect anything less. So we're going to crack this open. So before we get into this, I have to put my hands up and say I absolutely know nothing about this game at all. So I'm just going to have a look at the components, see what they're like, and then do some future videos where we'll be playing, painting, building and doing all sorts of weird and wonderful things set in the universe of Star Wars. So let's crack this thing open with a safety knife. I know, health and safety. Health and safety. Get that off to one side. Take that off, get rid of some of the glare. Okay, let's crack it open. It says struggle. Blimey. Do a video just getting the lid off. Yay! There's the lid. As always with Fantasy Flight, good quality cardstock. So, learn to play book. Not your traditional wargaming book, as it is only 32 pages long. When you can compare it to the likes of 40k, where there's a big massive rule book, but it does look like it is mostly assembly instructions and rules. Very little background fluff there, and to be fair, you don't really need it with Star Wars. If you don't know what Star Wars is, then I suggest you go outside and get some videos or watch some TV shows, because it's all over the place. It's been around for 42 years, so there's plenty of background information already available. I have some painting tips there which will come in handy for me, and then the credits. I do believe that this has been updated and you can get a free download from the Fantasy Flight website. Tokens, tokens and tokens. Token sheet. As always, a lot of tokens in a Fantasy Flight game. I used to go through the stage where I didn't like anything on the battlefield apart from the models and scenery. Even the army lists we used to keep off to one side. But it's become more and more common these days to have tokens just to keep track of effects and injuries and stuff. So I shall go through that. It's a turn counter there with this cutout, which looks very similar to X-Wing. Yeah, we'll come back to that. So the goodies, what have we got? So I'm guessing that this bag is the measuring sticks. And these sort of, oh yeah, they clip in. So these are the movement measurements. They clip in, and I'm guessing you can move that a certain amount of distance and turn as you want. So there's a bag of those. There is the range finders. Or range measurements. These look to be self-assembled. I've been told that they're 6 inches each, so that's 24 inch when they're all 4 of them together. Notice that one end, you can see that, isn't capped off, and the other end is. So that may be for an extra 6 inches or more. I have to see. You could, in theory, use a tape measure. I can't see why you wouldn't. I think it has something to do with ranges, so range 1, range 2, range 3, range 4. But a bit of simple math, and you could use a tape measure for that. A bag full of barricades. 8 barricades in this set. I wouldn't say they're particularly hard plastic. There is a bit of give there. And that one actually looks like it might be a little bit warped. Not by much. And I think some hot water won't be able to sort out. So there's 8 of them. They will probably never ever get painted at all. What's next? Bases, bases and bases. Black and brown bases. I'm going to take a wild guess saying that the black bases are for the Imperials and the brown bases are for the Rebels. And then some bigger bases. So we have one big base, no marking on it tells us what they are, and 2 smaller bases. These will be for the Imperial bikers, and this will be for the Imperial Rebel Walker type thing. The movement things, if I can just get them. Movement sticks will slot into that groove, that cutout. Possibly maybe over-engineered. I don't know until how important that is that they need to slot in there. They also will go on to the rim of the base. Otherwise, it could be over-engineered. But we'll find out when we start playing. Let's get those back in there, back in there. Right, what have we got going on here? One bag of plastic pieces. Okay, so these look like rebels, rebel fighters. There's 2 in there, and they have, let's open up the bag, get them out. They are multi-part, but they're not on a sprue like you would expect. So we have a body, a head, and a set of arms with some type of weapon. These 2 seem to have the same type of weapon. This could be a specialist, I'm guessing. And the head. I've noticed that the heads are keyed to match up with the neck piece there. It also looks like that the arms are also keyed. How that is going to affect building the models, I have no idea. Conversions may be a bit tricky to do. So that's those guys. What else have we got here? Some more Rebels. It looks like you're getting two of the same sculpt, because these two are the same. I can see that already. And this one, you have the added bonus, oh, if I can get those out, of having to glue the legs on. But there's a little tab at the back there, if you can see that. Let's put that more centered to the camera. And at the back of the legs, there's a slot for it to go. So I'm guessing that they will just go in there. They are very, very, very nice sculpts. I don't think the camera is going to do these justice. You can see there's quite a bit of detail on there. Not as much as you probably get with a Games Workshop Mini. I'm not sure what the process is for this, while they're not on a sprue. The plastic is hard. It's not that rubbery stuff that some of the Fantasy Flight games have. Put those in there. This is all the same then. Right, let's put that one to one side. And that one. And those. So, yeah, some more Rebels. But you're basically getting two of the same sculpt there. And there's a couple of Rebels here that seem to have some big Gatling type guns. Put that there, and back to them. And, let's get this one open and have a look. Rebel, but alien type Rebel. I'm sure someone somewhere out there will tell me which type of alien that is. I suppose that's the bonus of Rebels, because they are made up of mixed race and species. As with the Imperials, it's all helmets. Yep, two more Rebels. This one looks female, which is nice. Another Imperial. Rebels again. This guy's got a beard, so possibly a veteran or a unit leader. Two more bags, and they are both Imperials. So we'll have a quick look at the Imperials. Stormtroopers. Crack this guy open. Once again, we've got a few bags of the same sculpt. There seems to be two of each. These look really nice. There's a little bit of mould line there, but it shouldn't take much to sort out. Those. Yep, this guy is kneeling down. He's got looks to be some sort of rocket launcher or missile launcher. So you need to put the leg on this guy, and then you have the arms with what seems to be a rocket launcher. I'm guessing painting these could be a problem. You might want to leave the arms off, then put them on afterwards. They look like they need to bend in. It shouldn't be, a problem as such. It would just take a bit bit of force, to get a bit of force, blimey, just to get them to fit. And we'll put him back there. Yeah, so the rest of that bag was all Imperials. I'm not going to take each one out. This guy's got a big old backpack on him, so possibly based around the Stormtrooper garrison at Mos Eisley or Tatooine. They're just normal troopers, normal Stormtroopers. Once again, there you can see two exactly the same. Oh, this guy looks pretty cool. Let's whip him out of there. Unit leader or commander, pointing or showing the way, looking for some droids, and they're not over there. And then some more foot troops. Well, that was that bag sorted out. Let's come back to that one. Now these are quite interesting. This is the biker troops for the Imperials. There's quite a few little pieces in there. You can see that. Shouldn't take too much to sort out. It's not the worst model kit I will ever build. And they're quite substantial, and they will fit eventually onto the space. I do believe that on the base you can see it, these grooves are something to do with the firing arc. So that section will be the front firing arc, flank and rear. So you obviously want to get them on there. Moving that movement stick under this to fit it into that slot may be problematic. I won't know until we start playing. It would just be annoying more than anything, but there is always a chance that you'll put those bases in there. Knock your model off the base or do something similar with it. Oh, and these are the bikers themselves. So two bikers. One there looking forward. This guy seems to be, if you put the bike in there, shooting behind him in proper Return of the Jedi style. Once again, you need to put the head on and the rest of the arms, same on this fella here. They do look very good. They've done a wonderful job of capturing the cosmetic and the armour of the Imperials. Let's get them back in there. Put that in there so we know where they are. Clear plastic flight stands. Yep. Can't get away from these things. Not my favourite material in the world. Right, the Rebel Walker. Wow. This is quite a thing. Once again, quite a few small little pieces in there, which may be difficult for some of the younger hobbyists to put together. Let's have a quick look. So yeah, that looks like it will fit on that axle at some point. And then onto the base as such. That's quite a big model. Probably talking, if we want to scale it height wise, a little bit taller than a Dreadnought. Really looking forward to putting that together. Yeah, there's quite a few bits in there. I'll get all these built at some stage, and we'll do another video just to show them all built up, and then I'll have to paint them. So good luck with that, John. Oh, flight stands. I can't see the pilot in there, so I'm kind of hoping he is in the next miniature bag. Oh, and that said, he is. There we go, that's the pilot, or the driver of the Rebel Walker. But it's really, really nice. I'll probably have to upgrade my painting skills to get through that. And then we're on to the bad dudes. And Master Skywalker. Luke Skywalker himself, before he went all Last Jedi and became miserable. So this is multi-part again. Yeah, and this one is, oh, let's have a look. Let me get it out. Both arms and one lightsaber on one piece. I'm guessing that clips in like that, or slots in like that. Yeah, once again I would paint and then assemble these if I was any sort of skilled painter. I'm not. That's a classic pose for Luke, with no doubt about it. That's Luke, and then Vader himself. So, Darth Vader's body, no head, reaching out to force grip someone, and then we have his head and cape on the same piece. And there's a slot there and a peg for the model to go into. So I'm guessing that is that. And then once again, arm out with a lightsaber. So probably in the destruction booklet they will tell you to put the arm on first before you fit the head, because that doesn't quite fit in there with the cape on. There are very, very little mould lines on this. You're probably talking a couple of minutes each model just to clean it up a little bit. But that is pretty cool. And I don't get to play him, so it's just a pain in the bum. Let's put these dudes back in here before I misplace them. That's it. Right, cards. As always, Fantasy Flight, a lot of cards. So let's have a look. These, I'm guessing, are the upgrade cards. So, Stormtrooper, and what possibly could be a points cost to each one. Stormtrooper, Rebel Trooper. They do seem to be troop type specific. And DLT 19 Stormtrooper, so that's a unit upgrade. And I just run through some of these. More Stormtroopers. Z6 Trooper. Don't know what that is. Rebel Trooper only. Add one Z6 Trooper mini. So yeah, they seem to be unit upgrades. Rotary blaster for your AT-RT, which is the Rebel Walker. Jedi Mind Trick. Light side only. So there's going to be a dark and a light side only. Choose an enemy trooper unit within range 1 to 2. It gains 2 suppression tokens. And that looks like it has to be on a hero type model. Force Choke for Vader. Why wouldn't you? Force Push for Vader. If you're familiar with Star Wars X-Wing, also by Fantasy Flight, you'll be familiar with these upgrade cards, Saber Throws. There's a few there, so there's quite a lot of options, and I think this is where a lot of the competitive side will come into it. Tournament-wise, in the UK, I don't see a lot. I don't see a lot of advertising for tournaments, let alone actually hear about them. In the US, it is very, very big, Star Wars Legion. Hopefully that will transfer across to here. Right, so we now have some other cards. Let's tip these out. Let's do them. Those. So these are the unit cards. This is all your detailed stats. I'm not going to explain what all these mean because I don't know. There's one for Luke, one for Rebel Troopers, 2 for Rebel Troopers, 1 AT-RT, Mr. Vader, Darth Vader himself, Stormtroopers, and the speeder bikes. Yeah, I can't tell you much more about this. And the fact that they have quite a few. Rebel Troopers are nimble. Stormtroopers have Pierce 1, which gives them little bonuses. Darth Vader, as you would expect, has quite a few things going on, as does Luke Skywalker. So that's your unit cards. This next set of cards is, I say they're the unit cards. What have I done with the other ones? Well, have some what looks to be some sort of special order card. So ambush, a well-placed unit element, 1 unit. So I'm guessing ambush is actually reversed somewhere into the rules for a special rule. These pips are very important. You bid the pips before you start a battle round. That I do know. So you've got ambush, push, assault. Some of the artwork on this is just brilliant. Just brilliant. That I suspect is a still from one of the movies and then being artified. That is probably a commission piece because I can't ever remember seeing one of those in the Star Wars films. Assault. Assault again. Standing orders. At the end of the command phase, return this card to your hand. It doesn't tell you anything else, but that's what standing orders. So I'm guessing that standing orders relates to a special rule that's in the rule book. Implacable, with Vader himself. New ways to motivate your team. When a friendly non-Darth Vader trooper unit with a face-up order token is activated, it may suffer 1 wound to perform 1 free action. Yeah, that's Vader being intimidating to his own guys. Master of Evil, Son of Skywalker. So these look like they are for Luke himself. My ally is the Force. Ah yes, it says Luke Skywalker at the top, so I'm guessing that you can only take it for Luke. And then we have the Return of the Jedi. So they're command cards by the seams of things. And the last set of cards are your objectives and setup cards. Now, what I do know with Legion, it's very objective based. It's grabbing objectives, so not always going around shooting people off the board. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm guessing that that's your deployment. These are your environmental conditions, rapid reinforcement, so maybe some special abilities for each time you pick a mission, and then your objectives. We'll come back to these when we start playing. I'll know more about it. And last but not least, as with nearly all Fantasy Flight games, we have funky dice. When I say funky dice, not your traditional D6 with pips on the side. So we have 1, 2, 3 red D6. 1, 2, 3 white D6. There's quite a few blanks on those sides. 1, 2, 3 white D8s. I'm guessing that's a hit, and that's a critical. That is some sort of special thing, don't know. 3 black D8s. Once again, they have some blank sides, I'm guessing they're misses, but criticals and hits, and some sort of thing. And then red D8s, and these seem to have the most, well, in fact, that's only got the 1 blank side on it. The rest of them have all got some sort of symbol, and if that's an attack dice, then you're looking at finding units that roll D8s, because there's quite a lot going on there. And then the little pivot, sprocket, pin for the turn counter. So that is the unboxing of Star Wars Legion. I'm pretty stoked to start playing this, but of course it is reading the rules, getting it all built. So over the next few weeks we'll get on to that. Myself and Carl will be taken to the battlefield. We'll do some battle reports. I do have some more Legion stuff to unbox, so expect that as well over the next couple of weeks or months or even years, and the way my painting schedule works out. Oh. It's going to take me a day just to pop out the cards, tokens. So Star Wars Legion, that's the unboxing. Great sound, it's a very tight box. Once again, that's the back. So there is a lot in there. I'm wondering maybe if you and your friends started playing, it might be worth picking up 2 boxes, because it seems very good value for what it is. So that's the end of that. Thanks for watching. If you need to watch, if you want to watch any more gaming, wargaming, hobby related stuff, you can always check us out. Go to www.houseofchaos.co.uk. Myself and the guys are passionate about our hobby. We like to do new things, we don't just stick to the one topic, so it's not going to be just AOS or 40k. As you can see, Star Wars Legion has now finally arrived in our little hobby group, and we're always happy to hear from you, get your feedback, and if you could, like, share and subscribe. Thank you.